Should I register my copyrights? And if so, what are the benefits to registering my copyrights? Your mind is your property. I'm an intellectual property attorney here to talk about IP law. You don't need to actually register your copyrights to enjoy copyright protection. That's a myth, so it's an important thing to reinforce. Remember, so long as your work is sufficiently original, which is a low bar under U.S. law, and so long as it's fixed in a tangible medium, meaning it can be reproduced or communicated for at least a short period of time, that could mean video, audio, it can mean putting something onto a computer, it can mean writing something down. So long as it's original and fixed in a tangible medium, you're afforded federal copyright protection under U.S. law. So what's nice is if somebody infringes upon your work, and you've forgotten to register it, you just haven't registered it, you haven't made a mistake, you haven't waived your rights, you don't need to lose hope, you're still entitled to those copyright protections. This is for all the works you've ever created in your life. So long as they're original and fixed in a tangible medium, you enjoy copyright protection in all that work as of this moment. But that doesn't mean there's not benefits to registering your copyright. There's actually several benefits to registering your copyright. Some of them are monetary, so you do want to keep this in mind. The first reason is that there's a public record of your copyrighted work and all the key facts about it. You know, who's the author, what's the title, what's the year of publication, year of creation. All of that's on public record, which can serve as constructive notice that you have a copyright interest or you are the copyright owner of that work. The second reason, well, the second through fourth reason are all litigation based. You can't go into a copyright infringement litigation unless you've already registered your work. This makes sense. No point in going to court unless it's assured that there's actually a valid copyright in the work that's being disputed. So, you know, even if you haven't registered your work and somebody infringes upon it and now you've got to go to court, you're going to have to register your copyright at that point before going into court. But what's nice is if your registration's approved, so the third reason, it serves as prima facie evidence that you have a valid copyright in that work. Prima facie means upon first sight or at first glance, and that means that to a court of law, to the judge, that's his initial impression has to be that you are the valid copyright owner, you hold a valid registration in the work. That increases the burden on the opposing party to prove that you're not the rightful owner. Your attorney will thank you for it. It's something that has a lot of value when going into court, and part of the idea is, I think, to avoid frivolous litigation and to make sure that that the Copyright Office has an instrumental part in at least kind of facilitating resolutions to these disputes. So that's you can't go into litigation without it. It serves as prima facie evidence. The other litigation reason, and this is the monetary reason, is if you've registered your work before infringement. Remember, I was talking about registering it after infringement. Well, if you register it before infringement, then you're entitled to higher statutory damages. You're entitled to attorney's fees, and you're entitled to court-related costs. So if you do it before infringement, that means that you've kind of opened the door to this availability of higher statutory damages, higher return on a successful outcome in court. So reasons 2 through 4 are litigation-based. The last reason is an interesting international or customs reason. If you have a copyright, it serves as record to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection to protect you against infringing goods that might be imported. You could think of this as maybe kind of counterfeit-like goods, right? We're not talking about trademarks, we're talking about copyrights, but it's the same principle. If somebody's trying to import a good that infringes upon your copyright because you've already registered your copyright, that serves as notice. The U.S. Borders and Customs Protection will have this database, they'll have this copyright register, and we'll be able to cross-reference it for your work, and we'll be able to essentially spot or flag infringing works before they're imported, which makes a huge difference. If you can get out ahead of people getting into the market, then you can prevent serious or more serious infringement before it actually happens. So Should you register your copyrights? Well, it depends. It depends on the work. It depends on where you're comfortable registering your copyright in your process. It depends on the type of exposure that your work gets. You know, if it sees a lot of eyes, if it hits a lot of shelves, then it's something worth copyrighting, right? The more eyes something sees, the more likely someone's going to infringe. It's especially true in the world of social media, where it's just so easy to borrow and kind of, you know, feel like you can get away with it. It's in the abstract, right? So if you have something out there that, you know, you feel is worth protecting, it's a good idea to go and protect it. The fee is not that much. It's about $65 for a basic application. The problem is, if you want to register multiple works, of course, that adds up very fast. So the thing is, you know, if when possible, you can register works as a group, but only if they're unpublished. So there's a way to register multiple works at the same time, which will save you money. It's something to consider. But, you know, you don't need to register it necessarily to enjoy federal copyright protection. You will just have these added benefits, particularly in litigation, and particularly when it comes to statutory damages. That's always a plus, because that can, of course, you know, put a lot more money into your pocket. So there you go. Your mind is your property. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.